Reports emerging from Egyptian and international media indicate that Hamas is seeking the release of Marwan Barghouti, a prominent Palestinian political leader, as part of the ongoing ceasefire and prisoner exchange negotiations taking place in Egypt. The talks, hosted in Sharm el-Sheikh and mediated by Egypt and Qatar, have entered a sensitive phase as both Hamas and Israel attempt to outline the conditions for a possible truce in Gaza and a large-scale exchange deal involving Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. According to Al Qahira News, a media outlet closely linked to Egyptian intelligence, Hamas has presented a list of key Palestinian prisoners it wants Israel to release. At the top of this list is Marwan Barghouti, a senior leader of the Fatah movement who has been imprisoned by Israel since 2002. Barghouti, once viewed as a possible successor to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, is widely regarded among Palestinians as a symbol of resistance and unity. His potential release carries significant political implications for the post-war Palestinian landscape, as many analysts believe his freedom could reshape Palestinian politics and even bridge divides between Hamas and Fatah. In addition to Barghouti, Hamas is reportedly demanding the release of other high-profile prisoners, including Ahmed Sadat, Hassan Salameh, and Abbas al-Sayed, all of whom have been incarcerated for their roles in past militant activities. These figures hold symbolic importance within Palestinian society, and their inclusion in the talks signals Hamas's intent to achieve not only humanitarian outcomes, but also political gains that could bolster its legitimacy in the eyes of the Palestinian public. The Egyptian-led negotiations cover several interconnected issues: a permanent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, a phased release of Israeli hostages held in Gaza, the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails, humanitarian access to Gaza, including food, medical aid, and reconstruction materials, a timeline for the full withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip. According to multiple reports, Hamas has made it clear that it will not release all Israeli hostages until Israel agrees to a complete military withdrawal from Gaza. The group wants the final stage of the hostage release to coincide with Israel's departure, ensuring that the ceasefire and exchange deal are implemented simultaneously and not reversed midway. This position has created friction in the talks, as Israel remains cautious about any arrangement that could be seen as a full military retreat under pressure. Israel, for its part, has traditionally resisted releasing prisoners convicted of serious attacks, particularly high-profile figures such as Barghouti. The Israeli government fears that freeing such individuals could strengthen Palestinian militant factions and weaken Israel's security deterrent. Nevertheless, Egyptian mediators are reportedly pressing both sides to make historic compromises, viewing the inclusion of Barghouti as a potential breakthrough that could unite Palestinian factions and stabilize the region in the long term. The broader context of these talks is the one-year anniversary of the Israel-Hamas war, which has left tens of thousands dead and Gaza's infrastructure in ruins. Egypt's diplomatic efforts, supported by Qatar, the US, and the United Nations, are aimed at ending the cycle of violence and preventing further humanitarian catastrophe. According to sources cited by the New Arab and China Daily Asia, the Egyptian delegation has emphasized that a deal must include both security assurances for Israel and a credible political path for Palestinians towards self-governance. Barghouti's name, however, remains the most contentious point. For many Palestinians, his release symbolizes hope for national reconciliation and leadership renewal. For Israel, it represents a politically explosive concession that could provoke domestic backlash. Observers suggest that if Barghouti is included in the final agreement, it could mark a transformative moment in Palestinian politics, potentially positioning him as a future unifying leader after years of division between Fatah in the West Bank and Hamas in Gaza. In summary, the Hamas demand for Marwan Barghouti's release is more than a negotiation tactic. It is a reflection of the broader struggle over the future political order in the Palestinian territories. As talks continue in Egypt, the stakes remain exceptionally high. The success or collapse of the ceasefire framework could hinge on whether Israel and Hamas find common ground on this single powerful name.